gonna be flipping orbs today. No, I'm not gonna make the flip the 50. Yeah, that'd be bad.
I'm here with Dave, DFB, drinking some.
Brought to you by Monkey Shoulder.
I see. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, so we're gonna go through this deck.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so I played this deck to a 3 and 4 finish.
All right.
Yep.
In the main event at Chalice,
yeah,
right?
the main
okay.
event, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So here's what's going on. Oh wow. Wow. All right. So this is a Reanimator deck.
All right.
But the key to this is all coming together here. Key to this deck is this card. This card that you can play as a 4 of in San Francisco, and in Boston, and in Gothenburg. Is a nice card. This is a 4th Chronicles card. 4th Chronicles, yeah. So the central conceit of this deck is playing. You may be familiar with Swords, and you may be familiar with what Gordon Anderson calls Disenchant. And so early on, you play your white manas, and you disenchant or you swords things, and you get them into your yard. They're cheap, efficient removal, and then you cast Recall. X equals 1. You pitch a lobster.
What?
Yeah, you pitch a lobster, or you pitch. Wait. This goes out. This is a deep cut here. This is going out to Mark Flore, who signed this Triskelion. It's a long story. It's a really long story. But you cast Recall for 1, pitching a Deep Spawn or a Triskelion, and getting back a Swords or a Disenchant. Awesome. And then you've got a cheap removal in hand, and you got a thing in the bin, and then you cast one of these many animates, or you cast your beta. What do you call this? Resurrection. I love the color scheme on these. I love the Fraser. You got the Fraser swirl, and it's got this guy kind of like black and white and cream, like what do you call that? Beige, taupe, something. Yeah. And it's a very. I got these just for the. I mean, I'm like, really cool. I'm not gonna travel across the country and not have some beta resurrections. Recalls I couldn't afford, but the whole thing is this. So you've got 4 Recall, which I mean it's fine. Just like if you have an old school format with like 1x Recall, just unrestrict Recall. It's not that big a deal. No, it's not gonna hurt you. And then you pitch these guys. I've got 4 of each. It's a lot of 4-ofs, right? Sure. It's a lot of 4-ofs. It's a lot of 4-ofs. Lobster, Triskelion, lobster. Oh man, I have to get. Are the Southern California guys still here? Because I wanted to get the like Chris Pepin, Nick Aiello, Brian Urbano, John Sexton. Like I want them to sign the fucking.
Their rooms back here. Actually.
Oh yeah, they have a Deep Spawn on their door.
On the door, yeah.
That's really cool. Okay, so those are the 4-ofs. Obviously, we have 4 of each of these. I don't know if you heard of Disenchant. Disenchant is the best unrestricted card in the format. So we play 4 of those because you want to be able to like, kill stuff.
Yeah, you gotta play Magic, right?
Right. Yeah. So it plays like a bad control deck for a second, and then it plays like a bad mid-range deck. I think that's it for 4-ofs.
All right.
And then we've got the usual I'll just take out. So you guys play with unrestricted and strip mine, which is fine. I put in 2 of those, gotta strip stuff.
It's kind of hard to fit in this deck.
So it's greedy. The mana base is greedy. You need to hit 11 white for these guys.
Right.
You need closer to 12 or 13 white to hit these on your early turns, right? And then you need I don't know, like 10 blue or something. I don't think I have any double blue yet. All right, so then there's 1-ofs, right?
Okay.
Chaos Orb is a 1-of. Wait, Copy Artifact is never a 1-of. That's a 2-of.
That seems pretty
Two of those main deck.
Kind of complement the enemy deads with the
With the trike,
yeah.
or it's a Chaos Orb. It's like whatever your opponent's doing. It's like it's a Felwar Stone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that card. You know, Tutor. It's gonna get boring from here. Ancestral's boring. Boring cards.
Sure.
Boring shit. I mean, yeah, boring. Main deck boring.
Okay.
And then, you know, sources.
Sure.
Like you do.
Yeah, like you said. I see that.
And the sideboard, honestly, there's so many 4-ofs, and you've got like an engine here that like there's not a lot of flex spots. The things I cut most often were like the second copy, maybe the third swords, sometimes like an animate or a lobster, depending on what the opponent's doing. You don't have a lot of breathing room for sideboarding. But if you must, hang on.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
If you must, got a couple terrors. Didn't do that at all.
Okay.
2 more copies. If your opponent is on like workshops or some other like robot-y thing, you can just do that. A blue elf, you know, what do you call these things? Beb, yeah. I didn't beb anything all day. Armageddons, that's interesting. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Wraths, a dust. Oh, and these were my last cuts from the main deck. That's sort of interesting. This is obviously like longish, slowish games. You can bin things or whatever. It's got some synergy there.
Yeah.
And then this is like fine, but it's not amazing.
Yeah. Well, you can maybe ramp out.
Yeah. But like it doesn't. Yeah. So it's like the whole thing is like recall. Lobster.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do today.
Seems pretty good, yeah.
That's what I played.
So what makes this deck difficult to play, or like what do you have a hard time against, that sort of thing?
Yeah, good question. I would say it scoops to like hard control.
Okay.
Like anything that's like dedicated control. This is just like a janky control mid-range deck, and a real control deck like Grixis Disco. I ran into that today. I'm like, I guess I lose, you know. Or like the deck or something. You don't want to run into that, but like any kind of other mid-range or other like aggro-y thing, you can probably, get some swords going.
It's got enough game going on.
And then stick some, if they got a bunch of little guys, you stick a trike and whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe to close this out,
yes.
I can sort of ask you, do you have any like parting thoughts or wisdom you'd like to share? It can be about anything, old school, your deck, anything.
Okay. 4 recall is fine.
All right.
Like, that's fine.
All right.
Chaos Orb.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Chaos Orb weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't target. Let's keep it that way.
All right.
Lobsters.
All right.
If I may,
Will.
I just came with the best deck name for your deck.
Okay, please.
Surf and Turf. Yeah, we're doing it. Cheers to that.
Just telling you, hey, Turf.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.